The Interstellar Academy floated in the dark sky of Orion's sector, a massive station that glowed like a city of stars. It was the most famous school in the galaxy, and only the brightest alien students could enter. Here young minds from hundreds of species learned history, war strategy, diplomacy, and science. But among the shining halls of knowledge, there was one subject no one dared to speak about. It was the mystery of humans. Every new student heard the same warning during their first lesson. Humans were banned from the galaxy war. No species could ally with them. No army could recruit them. Their name was erased from most books. Their world, Earth, was marked as a quiet and forgotten place. Yet this mystery only made the students more curious. Why were humans banned? What secret was being hidden? Among the new generation of students was a small group who could not resist the puzzle. There was Zar, a tall insectoid who loved secrets. There was Lyra, a crystal-skinned thinker with a hunger for hidden history. And there was Darrow, a reptilian with sharp eyes who trusted no official story. Together they whispered questions when professors were not listening. One evening, after a lecture on the Great Galaxy War, Lyra raised her crystal hand. Her voice rang clear in the hall. "Professor, why are humans forbidden to fight? Why are they the only species banned?" The whole class went silent. The professor, a wise elder with silver skin, froze for a moment. Then he gave the same answer all teachers gave. Humans are weak. They are too unstable for war. Their minds are not suited for strategy. It is for their own safety that they remain outside galactic conflict. But his voice trembled. His silver eyes avoided Lyra's. The students noticed it. The group noticed it most of all. Later, in the quiet study halls, Darrow whispered, "He was lying. I could see it in his eyes." "They are hiding something bigger." Zar clicked his mandibles in agreement. If humans were truly weak, why hide the records? Why erase them from history? The more they thought about it, the more the mystery grew. In the great library of the Academy, every war record was clear and detailed. Battles, weapons, strategies, everything was explained. But whenever humans were mentioned, there were only blank pages or blacked-out lines, as if someone had cut the truth out of history with a blade. For days, the group searched the open archives. They read thousands of pages. They watched old recordings, but all they found about humans were tiny fragments. A picture of a human soldier standing in shadow. A half-sentence saying, "They came from Earth." Before the line ended, a single audio clip of a commander saying, "Never again, never," before the file broke. It was not enough. It was only enough to fuel their hunger. One night, when the academy lights dimmed and most students rested, Lyra called the others to a quiet corner of the library. She whispered, "There are deeper records, restricted files. I saw the locks while I was searching. They hold the truth. If we want answers, we must go there." Darrow's tail flicked nervously. "Those files are forbidden. If we are caught, we will be expelled. Maybe worse." But Zar's eyes gleamed. "Are you afraid, Darrow? If we do not see for ourselves, we will never know the truth. We will grow old with the same lies." The three stared. The decision was made in silence. No words, only the quiet fire in their eyes. They would break into the restricted archives. They would uncover the truth about humans, no matter the risk. The next cycle, while the academy slept, the three students met in the shadow of the east wing. The corridors were empty, the air cool with the hum of power lines. Zar carried a stolen data key, its surface glowing faint grey. Lyra carried her crystal tablet for copying files. Darrow brought only his sharp senses, ready to catch every sound, every movement. The restricted archive was buried deep under the academy, a place where students never went. The walls here were lined with heavy doors of black metal, each marked with warning signs in dozens of alien languages. Authorized personnel only. Sealed knowledge. Do not enter. Tsar approached the gate, his hands trembling. His antennae twitched as he slid the data key into the lock. The door made no sound, only a slow hiss as it opened. Beyond it stretched a long, dark hall filled with glowing cylinders, each one storing ancient records. The students stepped inside. The air smelled of metal and dust. The silence was thick. As the door shut behind them, Lyra whispered, "This place feels alive, as if the walls themselves do not want us here." They walked deeper, past records of wars fought in distant systems, past sealed boxes of weapons banned for their cruelty. And then they saw it. A section marked in deep red. A symbol burned onto the walls. The letters glowed. Classified. Humanity. The students froze. The moment felt unreal. No one was supposed to even know this section existed. Tsar's mandibles clicked nervously. "We found it," he whispered. Lyra's crystal skin shimmered as she placed her hand on the first cylinder. Her tablet lit up. She began to copy the files, the screens filled with fragments, battle reports, images, transmissions, all of them about humans. But most of the data was damaged, whole sections broken or erased. Still, what they saw chilled them. One report described a battle in the Vega sector, an alien army of 50,000 soldiers against a small unit of humans. The official record should have told of easy victory, but the report ended only with 3 words. Never let them. Another file showed a grainy image, a human soldier standing alone on a battlefield of smoke and ruin, his face covered in blood and dirt, his weapon broken, yet his eyes still burning with defiance. The students stared. Something about the human expression struck them. It was not like the calm logic of the academy races. It was raw, fierce, alive. Then Lyra found something more, a broken recording only a few seconds long. The voice of a galactic commander echoed in static. "If they fight again, the stars themselves will burn." Then the clip cut to silence. Darrow's scales shivered. He leaned close and whispered, "This is why the files are hidden. Humans are not weak. They are too strong, too dangerous." But Tsar shook his head. "Dangerous or not, why erase everything? Why pretend they were nothing? There is more here, deeper files. We must go further." They moved to the last row of cylinders, the ones locked with triple seals. Tsar's stolen key was not enough. Lyra had to link her crystal tablet into the system, sending codes, bending the locks. The room grew hotter. Alarms whispered inside the walls, but none rang out yet. At last the final cylinder opened, and inside was a single glowing core marked Human War Testimony. The students gathered around, hearts pounding. The core projected words into the air, slow, heavy, like they carried the weight of centuries. "This record is sealed by order of the Galactic Council. Humanity is banned from all wars. The reason is not weakness, but survival. If they return, there will be no galaxy left to save." The message ended there. The 3 stood frozen, their minds racing. Questions burned hotter than answers. What had humans done? What kind of war could make the galaxy fear one single species? Then, suddenly, the room lights flickered red. A siren rang. Not loud, but deep, Like the heartbeat of the academy itself, security had found them. "Run!" Darrow hissed, his tail lashed as footsteps echoed in the hall above. Zar grabbed the core, Lyra clutched her tablet, and together they spun. Rinted through the shadows, alarms now howled like angry beasts. Metal doors hissed open and guards poured into the archive, their glowing eyes scanning for intruders. The students dove into a side passage, their breaths sharp, their hearts wild. Behind them, the sound of pursuit grew louder. They could hear the guards shouting, "Stop, forbidden section breached! Capture them alive!" But they kept running, not caring where the tunnel led. Only one thought burned in their minds. They had seen enough to know. Humans were not erased because they were weak. They were erased because they were unstoppable. And now the galaxy's most dangerous secret was in their hands. The tunnels twisted beneath the academy like veins of some sleeping beast. The alien students ran through them, their hearts echoing louder than the alarms. Zar clutched the glowing core close to his chest. Lyra kept her crystal tablet pressed tight against her. Darrow moved at the front, his reptilian eyes sharp, guiding them through the dark. They could hear the guards above, heavy boots stomping across the floors, orders flying through comms. Darrow hissed, "They will lock down the lower tunnels soon. We must find a way out before they trap us." But Zar shook his head. "No, if we leave now, we will lose the chance to see what is inside this core. We risked everything. We cannot stop halfway." Lyra agreed, her voice a whisper, yet filled with fire. "If we run without answers, we are nothing but criminals. If we unlock the truth, we are witnesses. The galaxy must know what humans really are." The choice was made. They found an old maintenance chamber hidden in the lower levels, a place unused for years. Dust clung to the walls, broken lights flickered weakly. The three students collapsed inside, breathing hard. Zar placed the glowing core on the floor. It pulsed softly, as if alive. Lyra linked her tablet to it. Her crystal fingers moved quickly, sending commands, cracking the old seals. The air in the room grew tense, like the silence before a storm. Then the core spoke. Not in words this time, but in images. The walls of the chamber came alive with flickering holograms. Scenes of war spread before their eyes. The students gasped. They saw an alien battlefield, a vast plain under a red sky. Thousands of soldiers marched in perfect lines, armored, armed with plasma rifles. Behind them rolled machines taller than towers, engines of destruction that could level cities. The enemy was fierce, powerful, united. And then humans, not armies of thousands, but small groups, ragged and scarred. Their armor was simple, their weapons old. Some carried blades, others only crude guns. Yet when the enemy stormed forward, the humans did not retreat. They charged. The hologram showed chaos. Humans moved differently than any soldier the students had studied. Aliens fought with patterns and strategies, but humans fought with something else. Unpredictability, fury, instinct. They threw themselves into the fight as if nothing could break them. One human was shot through the leg. He fell but dragged himself forward, pulling down an enemy twice his size. Another lost his weapon but grabbed a piece of broken metal, using it like a blade. His face twisted in a scream that shook even the hologram. The students watched in silence, their bodies stiff with shock. The battle should have been one-sided, 50 humans against hundreds of alien soldiers, yet the hologram showed the humans cutting through the enemy like fire through dry grass. Each time one human fell, the others fought harder, as if pain only made them stronger. Lyra whispered, her voice trembling. "They fight like they do not care if they live or die." Darrow shook his head slowly. No, it is worse. They fight like living and dying mean the same thing to them. They fight for something bigger, something we cannot understand. The hologram shifted. Another battle appeared, this time in the cold vacuum of space. Human ships, small and outdated, faced a fleet of advanced war cruisers. The alien fleet formed perfect formations, their weapons shining. But the human ships moved like predators, darting, weaving, striking where no one expected. They sacrificed themselves without hesitation, colliding into larger ships, detonating reactors. One by one, the massive cruisers exploded into fire, and still the humans fought. The students could not look away. Their hearts pounded as if they too were standing on that battlefield, feeling the heat, the terror, the impossible courage. Then the hologram changed again. This time it showed something stranger, a meeting of alien generals, their faces grim. They spoke in rushed tones, words broken by static. "They cannot be controlled," one general said. "They do not fear death," another answered. "If we use them again, the galaxy will burn," a third warned. And then the voice of a single human echoed through the hologram. It was faint, cracked, but filled with fire. "You think you can erase us, but war is in our blood. When the stars call, we will return." The hologram cut out. The chamber returned to silence. Only the hum of the core remained. The three students sat frozen, their minds torn between fear and awe. They had seen proof with their own eyes. Humans were not weak. They were not erased because they failed. They were erased because they were too strong, too relentless, too dangerous for the galaxy to allow. Zar's antennae twitched as he whispered, "We should never have seen this." Lyra's crystal body glowed faintly as she answered, "And yet, now we cannot forget it." Darrow bared his teeth, his voice low. "The galaxy lied to us all, but now the truth is ours. And if the Council learns we have seen it, they will hunt us to the edge of the stars." Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered again. This time not from the core, but from the Academy's systems. A voice boomed through hidden speakers, cold and commanding. "Unauthorized access detected. You have stolen forbidden knowledge. Surrender immediately." The students froze. Guards were close. The Academy itself knew where they were. The truth about humans burned in their hands, and now the galaxy's most powerful school was closing in to silence them. The chamber shook with the booming voice of the Academy's system. Its words echoed through every wall. "Unauthorized access detected. Surrender immediately." Zar's mandibles clicked in panic. His hands clutched the glowing core tighter. "They know where we are. We have to move." Lyra's crystal eyes flashed. She held her tablet close. "If we leave now, the truth is lost. The Council will erase it again. They will bury the humans forever." Darrow hissed, his tail striking the floor. "If we stay, we will be buried with them." The sound of heavy boots thundered through the tunnel above. Security forces were closing in fast. The students had seconds, not minutes. Lyra stared at the pulsing core, her voice lowered to a sharp whisper. "There is more locked inside, a final record. I can feel it. We need to open it now or never." Zar hesitated only a moment, then dropped to his knees. His antennae twitched as he linked the stolen key again. Sparks danced across the core. Alarms screamed louder. A red light filled the chamber. The core flared bright. Holograms burst into the air, not of battles this time, but of a council chamber, a place so grand that the students had only seen it in textbooks, a circle of towering alien leaders, their faces grim, the Council of the Galaxy itself. The students held their breath. For the first time they were seeing what the galaxy had hidden for centuries. The hologram focused on a single figure, a general with scarred skin and tired eyes, his uniform torn, his voice heavy with exhaustion. He stood before the council. His words carried the weight of blood and fire. "I led the campaign in the Delta War," TL.
He general began. His voice was rough. "We used humans as allies. We thought they would be like any other race. We were wrong." And then silence.
The chamber leaned closer, the general continued. "Humans fought with a fury I have never seen. When others retreated, they advanced. When others surrendered, they rose again. They used every weapon, every scrap of metal, every drop of blood, and when the war should have ended, they did not stop." The council members shifted uncomfortably. One asked, "You speak of strength. Why is this a danger?" The general slammed his hand on the table. "Because humans do not fight for balance. They do not fight for peace. They fight to win, and in their victory they destroy everything, friend and foe alike." The hologram flickered. Images filled the chamber again. Whole cities turned to ash, fleets shattered, planets scarred. The students could see humans at the heart of it all, small groups of them standing among ruins, faces hard, eyes burning. The general's voice returned, softer now. "We thought we could guide them, control them. But once war touched them, they became something else, unstoppable. They burned through enemies, they burned through allies, they would have burned through the galaxy itself if we had not stopped them." The council leader spoke, his voice low. "And so the ban was made. Humanity shall never take part in our wars again. Their world shall be isolated, their history erased, not for their weakness, but for their strength, a strength that endangers us all." The hologram froze. The words hung in the stale air of the chamber. The students felt the weight crush their hearts. Humans were not erased because they failed. They were erased because they succeeded too well, because they were too dangerous. Lyra's crystal skin dimmed as she whispered, "All our lives we were told they were weak. All our teachers lied. The truth is worse. They are monsters of war." But Daro's reptilian eyes narrowed. "No, not monsters. Survivors, that is what frightens the coups. And still most. They cannot control survival. They cannot control humans." Zar's mandibles clicked rapidly. He turned to them, his voice shaking. "Do you not see? If this knowledge spreads, the galaxy will panic. Entire worlds will fear Earth rising again. That is why the Council hunts us now. That is why they will silence us." Before they could answer, the chamber door shook with pounding fists. Guards shouted, "Open this door! Step away from the core!" The students jumped. Their time was over, yet the truth was still glowing in the air. Lyra acted first. She copied the final testimony into her tablet. Every word, every image. She pressed her hand against the crystal screen and swore softly, "They cannot bury this again. Not while we live." The door cracked. A bright blue plasma cutter sliced through the metal. Sparks rained across the chamber floor. The guards were seconds away from breaking through. Daro snarled, "We must escape with the files, or all of this was for nothing." Zar grabbed the glowing core, holding it against his chest. "But where do we run? The academy is crawling with soldiers." The metal door screeched open. A flood of armored guards poured in, weapons raised, their glowing eyes locked on the three students. "Drop the core, surrender the tablet," a commander barked. His weapon crackled with energy. The students backed away slowly, pressed against the far wall. Their hearts thundered, but none of them let go of the truth. And then, as if the galaxy itself wanted to fuel their rebellion, the core spoke one last time. A human voice, calm yet filled with fire, whispered through the chamber, You can erase our names, you can hide our battles, but you cannot erase what we are. And when war returns, humanity will rise again." The guards froze for only a heartbeat, but that heartbeat was enough. The students bolted toward a maintenance shaft at the side of the chamber. Darrow's claws ripped it open. They dove inside as plasma fire scorched the walls behind them. They slid through the dark shaft, the sounds of shouting and gunfire echoing above. The forbidden truth now burned inside their minds. Humans were the most dangerous warriors in the galaxy, not because they were many, not because they were advanced, but because they never, ever stopped fighting. The students did not know where the shaft would lead. They only knew one thing. They carried the most dangerous secret of the galaxy, and now the galaxy itself would hunt them for it. The maintenance shaft stretched into endless darkness. Metal groaned under their weight as the students slid and crawled. The echoes of the guards faded behind them, but the fear remained heavy. Darrow moved first, his sharp eyes catching every corner, his tail lashed nervously. "We cannot go back to our rooms. The Academy will search every floor." Zar clutched the glowing core close to his chest. His mandibles clicked fast. "They will brand us traitors, maybe even erase us like they erased the humans." Lyra's crystal body shimmered faintly in the gloom. She held her tablet tight, the forbidden files glowing across its screen. "Then we must leave this place. If the Council silences us, the truth dies forever." The shaft opened into a hidden hangar. A cold chamber filled with old training ships. Their paint was chipped, their engines dusty, but they were flight-worthy. The students exchanged a glance. No words were needed. They sprinted toward the nearest craft, a small triangular shuttle. Its systems groaned as Lyra powered it on, but the engines roared to life. The hangar lights blazed red. Sirens wailed. A booming voice shook the chamber. "Unauthorized launch detected. Stop immediately." Plasma fire streaked across the hangar as guards stormed in. Energy bolts scorched the floor around them. Darrow slammed his claws onto the controls. "Hold on!" he snarled. The shuttle lifted violently. The blast doors above were still sealed. Zar hissed, "We cannot break through." But Lyra's eyes burned bright. "Yes, we can." She overrode the system, forcing the engines into overload. The shuttle rocketed upward, smashing through the doors in a storm of fire and metal. The blackness of space opened before them. Stars stretched like endless eyes watching their escape. For a moment, silence returned. But the silence did not last. Several Academy cruisers detached from orbit, sleek and deadly. Their cannons glowed, voices boomed through comms. "Return at once, or be destroyed." Zar trembled. "We cannot fight them, not in this shuttle." Darrow gritted his teeth. "Then we run. We show the galaxy what we saw, even if it kills us." The shuttle darted through space, weaving between bursts of plasma fire. Sparks flew inside as the hull shook. Lyra screamed over the noise. "Coordinates! Where do we go?" Zar hesitated. His mandibles clicked. Then he whispered the only name that felt right. "Earth." The others froze, their eyes wide. Darrow growled, "Earth is forbidden. No one dares go there." But Lyra's voice was steady. "If we carry the truth, we must deliver it to the very ones it belongs to. The humans must know what the Council has done." The shuttle jumped into faster-than-light travel. The stars stretched into lines. The Academy ships shrank into the void. For hours they flew in silence. Only the hum of the engine and the soft pulse of the core kept them company. Each of them was lost in thought. The truth weighed on them heavier than any chain. Finally, the shuttle dropped from light speed. Before them hung a blue and green planet, small, quiet, spinning in the black sea of space. Earth. It looked peaceful, almost fragile. The students stared in awe. Darrow whispered, This is what they fear." But even as they gazed, something stirred. Zar's antennae twitched. His eyes narrowed. "Do you see that?" Around the Earth, faint signals blinked, not natural, not random patterns, coded transmissions reaching into space. Lyra's tablet lit up. Darrow's tail froze. His voice dropped into a growl. Impossible. The Council swore Earth was isolated. They swore humanity was silent. But the truth was clear. The signals grew stronger, repeating again and again. A human voice, distorted yet powerful, echoed across the stars. "We remember," the voice said. "We wait," the voice continued. "And when the war comes again, we will rise." The students' hearts pounded. The galaxy's greatest secret was no longer buried. The humans were not asleep. They were waiting. Behind the shuttle, space rippled. Academy ships had followed them. Weapons charged. The Council's hunters were seconds away. But before the first shot could fire, a shadow moved near Earth. A massive human warship uncloaked. Its dark surface scarred, but alive. It turned its cannons toward the pursuers. Its voice thundered across the comms. "This is Earth Defense Command. The galaxy forgot us, but we did not forget. Leave now or be destroyed." The Academy cruisers hesitated. For the first time, they were the ones afraid. Inside the shuttle, Zar, Lyra, and Darrow stared in silence. Their bodies shook with terror and awe. They had come searching for a secret, but they had found the beginning of something much larger. The humans were not gone. The humans were not weak. They had been waiting all along. The shuttle drifted closer to the shadow of Earth. The great warship loomed above them like a guardian from forgotten myths. And in that moment, the students realized the truth. The ban was not to protect humans from the galaxy. The ban was to protect the galaxy from humans, and now that protection was about to break. The human signals grew louder, repeating again and again. "We remember, we wait, we rise." The screen faded into darkness, leaving only the heartbeat of suspense.